and cattle has been a weird part of both the Islamic and the Christian traditions. It's not a rational idea. It doesn't make sense that God would give you eternal punishment for a temporal sin. And lots of Christians are in that. I remember growing up Catholic, it was clear, I call it a plea bargain religion. You could always make a deal. Nobody ever really believed anybody was in hell, because you could always do something. There was always some loophole, right, that you could get out. So I never had much of a, I mean, you heard about it, you got scared about it. Nobody went there. And now, real Christians do believe in it. I've had people in class who say people in here who do not confess Jesus Christ as their Savior, they're going to hell, even though they're nice people. And that's proper Christian belief. Anybody here believe that? There's a person, you're sitting with him. Nice guy, you're a nice guy.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Perfectly. Minton's going to hell, isn't he? That's the Christian. It couldn't be more different than the Plato ideas. And Christianity, this is the last thing, has no return clause. It's not like Nordstrom. You can't bring stuff back or redo it. They created this place called limbo where little babies go. Purgatory's separate deal. That's the holding cell, county jail, waiting for remand, all right? Limbo's for the little babbies who didn't get baptized, who are sweet and innocent. Not their fault that they're stained by sin. Protestants tend not to come up with all these dodges, right? Limbo is where these babies are going to be happy, even though they ought to go to hell. Little bastards, give them a break. But they're all physical. Everybody understand that? In Christianity, you go one way, you don't go back. Same with Islam. Like trying to go through the revolving doors. Kavanaugh, being more of a Platonist, has a right of return. If his soul, now think about the connection. If your souls can separate from the body and go somewhere else, it can also come back from that somewhere else. If you're just one thing and all of you has to go wherever you're going to go, you can't come back without it being mighty creepy. So that in Christianity you do have people coming back, but they come back in some physical form. As a vampire, as a zombie, as a ghost. We like those. And they are called revenants. It's a wonderful category. That means people who die and come back.
Because a little bit of this was in the text we were reading when they were talking about the original discomfort of cremation. Because there was this idea that, if you were going somewhere, you needed your body.
Exactly. You got to be able to. How are you going to reassemble it? And I found out, this is an interesting sub-story. When my brother died, he wanted to be cremated. But in Catholicism, all right, this is very weird. They permit cremation, but you can't divide up the ashes. Because they won't be able to find each other again. We screwed up. We didn't know this, right? The Catholic side has so many weird rules, like the infield plywood. You didn't think about this. We put some of them on the beach because he wanted to be there. But I have these ultra-Catholic relatives who insist on keeping some of them in their basement in an urn. So part of Arthur's there, part of him's out at Jones Beach. So he's been divided. I don't know what's going to happen at the last, when Jesus comes back, there'll be half a guy here, and it's going to be a problem.
When I was in Croatia, I went to a Catholic church, and they had just like an embalmed body of,
of course.
A saint who was there,
yes,
or something, just like lying in the
there he is.
And like not like covered up or anything.
No,
this dead body
right there, and it has power. If you touch it or deal with it, it's going to do you some good, right? Because the body really matters. Again, go to Catholic Mass. They're giving you the body and blood of Christ every day.
So according to like the religion, do you go to hell? Like if your body's separated and like the second coming happens, do you go to hell then, or do you?
No. They can reassemble you.
So then why does it matter?
It's one of these weird. Why would God have a problem with that if He's all powerful? But you never know. Maybe there's another going to be like a holding cell for people with incomplete bodies, limbatorio or something.
And that's why then you have all these ghost stories, so like people who didn't die correctly.
Exactly. If you don't die right, the dead come back. This is also a theme in Christian countries. The dead will keep coming back if you don't do the right thing with their bodies. All right? In reincarnation cultures or dualist cultures with the soul and body separate, you don't have the problems. Okay? Or the same kinds, there's going to be different kinds of visitations. You can go to the other world, okay? That kind of thing. It's a different model. These are all wonderfully exotic, but these are the things that shape your culture and mine. Either dualism, the hybrid model, or the one thing model. Most Americans and most of you are hybrids. You believe in the Prius theory of identity. You all probably think that deep inside yourself, beyond the brutal insensitivity of your neighbors and fellows, is a true self, a pure, good, and beautiful thing that you look for when you fall in love with other people, and that nobody fully appreciates, and that you've never fully expressed to anyone, right? Or only to a few beloved people. It's a kind of religious conceit. Most of us believe that we have an ultimately valuable inner self that doesn't get revealed. Has anybody here ever had the horrible experience of revealing that inner self to somebody who was getting bored? Kind of looking at their watch, getting antsy. Let's go out and have a beer, right? You're pouring your soul out. Vivid, isn't it? Yeah. And you look in their eyes and oh, Jesus, they're not interested in my inner self. Anyway, most of us have, I believe that on some level, that there's an inner self, a thinking thing, some kind of soul we all have that's sacred, and that's why we should treat the body well. A good Catholic thing should treat the body well because it's going to. Who knows what the rapture is? I'm obsessed with this. And everybody's taking questions. Yeah. What is the rapture?
Well, I'm invested
Yeah. No, what happens?
There's something about someone coming back and bringing people up.
You're the worst person. You
I
don't have a religious bone in your body.
I have a memory of a goldfish. I remember reading about it.
The people who are saved get to go, or people who don't get to go.
You know, don't you? What happens though?
They leave physically.
No, who comes back?
Oh, Christ.
And where?
I think it's New Jerusalem, I guess.
No, he's in
New
the
Jersey?
sky.
Oh yeah, well,
No.
no, leaves. Like, if
Give
I
me
was
some
sitting,
rapture here.
like I would just
flip through the
bounce.
window?
I would just bounce. My clothes would
Yeah,
still
you
be
would
here.
look up in the sky, there'd be a something like that, a riff on a horn.
Yeah,
Jesus is up there in glory,
yeah.
and then all the saved Christians
Are gone.
leave their clothes, their glasses, their false teeth, their shoes, and their wallets, and their credit cards and cell phones, and rise up naked towards Jesus in the blinking of a twinkling of an eye. Now, if you're driving on the freeway trying to get to Fontana and you're going 75 lane and you leave your car and all these non-saved poor bastards are around you, you plow the driverless car plows into those bastards, they die, and where do they go? Straight to hell! Now, there's the vision of the person who believe it!
At that point, everyone who's left is going to hell?
No,
Never-
now. Otherwise, I wouldn't have spent way too much of my time reading the 12 volumes of the Left Behind series.